Can you share some of the more of the detail around the work you've done to build a talent marketplace at Standard Chartered, and how you addressing that reskilling challenge that you talked about?
Yes, you're absolutely right. COVID's accelerated us towards some of these themes around the future of work. Talent marketplace is something that we launched as a pilot initially, and it was driven by we could hear from our colleague listening that colleagues wanted more opportunities for growth and development, and we felt talent marketplace would be a great way to do that, to allow them to put themselves forward, to kind of say, look, these are skills that I want to learn, or these are skills that I want to offer and deploy in a different part of the group, to build my organisational awareness, whatever it might be, from a colleague's perspective. So we launched that initially in a few countries, and it was a huge success. We could see the active participation of those colleagues in those pilot countries, but what we could see was not only we were able to match these opportunities with colleagues, but it was starting to foster a real culture of talent mobility, which we wanted to foster, of course, and to nurture that. So we made the decision then to go global, and it's still fairly early days, but we've now got over, I think, 11,000 registered users. We've completed over 500 project assignments, colleagues matched with projects, if you like. And we've translated that into additional productivity hours. So that's all discretionary effort, if you like, that talent marketplace has created. So it meets the colleagues' needs that they were asking for. We're creating this environment for them to tap into opportunities to support their development and growth. But through it, we're finding considerable productivity gains, all of this extra discretionary effort. The teams are finding capacity and capability where they may have had shortfalls. So really powerful stuff, and we've even now opened that up to mentoring relationships. And I think as of today, we had about 200 or 300 mapped mentors to mentees, again helping those colleagues with their growth and development opportunities. So talent marketplace is proven to be really successful for us. Reskilling, I think if you then look at strategic workforce planning, this is again, back to the points I made earlier, it's around how do we understand the future evolution of our workforce? How do we understand where the roles are going to be automated through technology, how they're going to be augmented through technology, or what additional roles are going to be required to support the embracing of technology, and then looking at what that means in terms of the capabilities that result from those changes. But it's all about foresight. I talked about hindsight, insight, foresight. This has given us a 2-year, 3-year view to give us time to build the appropriate interventions that we need to make sure that there are no gaps, that we have the workforce that we need in the future. And it allows us to do it in a way that is as employee-centric as we can possibly make it, by providing them with reskilling opportunities, redeployment opportunities, leveraging from talent marketplace as one of the channels that we can use to build that capability out. So the two are really intrinsically linked, actually. And what's really fascinating for me, I think we're still exploring, is how we can connect the two. Because if strategic workforce planning can give us that global view, if you like, the high-level view of how the workforce is evolving and changing, talent marketplace becomes a channel through which we can start to create that future workforce. Yes, we can deploy talent to where it matters most in terms of the capacity and capability shortfalls that we've got. Colleagues are getting the benefit of the learning and growth opportunities that presents, and we're getting all of that productivity uplift as a result. So again, it's a brilliant win-win, because we're building the workforce that we need for the future in terms of capabilities, but we're doing it in a way that's colleague-centric and is business-centric, because it's supporting increased levels of productivity.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, I mean, Ian and I, the producer of the show, by the way, fun fact, were talking about how, using skills as the kind of data, the data source almost helps break down traditional silos in HR, learning, talent development, strategic workforce planning, because it's the common data source that could underpin all three in the future. we had Anshul Shiapuri from IBM on the show a few weeks ago, and he talked about skills as a silver thread that kind of links all this together. But that skills data, ultimately, obviously, people analytics teams are going to be at the forefront of that, doing the work that your team's been doing around understanding skills adjacencies, for example.
Yeah.
And as you said, driving internal mobility, which is great for colleagues, great for the business as well, and then great for the foresight piece that you're talking about, because then you can understand, okay, we've got a good understanding of what we can grow and what we can build. So now we probably can understand whether the gap better, so we can understand about where we might need to buy talent in the future. And we've got data that tells us where we could potentially buy that talent, because the supply is in abundance in different parts of the world where Standard Chartered is.
Totally. And I think, SWP, strategic workforce planning, in the same way any insight or analytics piece of work is only of any value when it's translated into actions to drive the impact that you're seeking. Talent marketplace, in many ways, is the mechanism by which you can convert strategic workforce planning insights into actions that directly impact colleagues positively to support their reskilling, their growth into the future roles that we need and the future skills that we need for an organisation.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.